This is my father's Super-Ego 10-inch Stillson wrench. This wrench has been used for mainly home maintenance and, as can be seen from some of the tool markings, sometimes as a situational hammer. Besides the very obvious surface rust and some pitting, the tool has led a relatively uneventful life at the bottom of the toolbox. The lack of any major damage will mean that this tool should be relatively easy to restore to its former glory. There is one fixed component that will need to be removed. Unfortunately, we will destroy this part in the process, but more on this a little bit later on. Using a Dremel or similar, grind off the flared end of the solid rivet that fixes the jaw holder onto the wrench handle. Be careful not to remove any material from the jaw holder. Once sufficient material has been removed from the rivet, use a suitable pin punch and a hammer and let the rivet know who's boss. Once the rivet has succumbed to the accurate and forceful blows, and it will fold as quickly as a sovereign citizen being placed in cuffs by the local police. Dismantling the Super-Ego is straightforward. Wind out the jaw and slide it out of the jaw holder. Then slide down the jaw holder. The Stillson wrench includes a jaw holder spring. This is just a push fitting and can be removed with relative ease. A quick twist and out it comes. 6 pieces make up all of the wrench parts. Once in pieces, all loose rust and years of accumulated grime and dirt can be removed. I use a simple solution of degreaser, dishwashing liquid and water. Only moderate agitation is required with the brushes. The Super-Ego was embellished with some highlighted painting, and some of this remains. We could use a mechanical method to remove the residual paint. However, it would be difficult to remove all the paint, particularly the paint in between and inside the raised lettering. We will make this process a little bit easier and employ a suitable paint stripper. As with all strippers, some encouragement will provide more satisfying results. Oh, and by the way, I'm not talking about using stripper dollars at the local gentleman's club. In short time, all paint has been detached from the tool. A quick rinse in plain water, and the tool is ready for the next processing step. There is still rust on the tool, and in particular within the factory textured surfaces, and within some of the metal pitting. This rust will need to be removed, otherwise it will be the seed for new future rust. The use of electrolysis to remove this rust is effective, if somewhat time consuming. I will use my electrolysis rust removing kit, or ERRiK, to perform this task. A link on how to build your own ERRiK is going to be in the video description. 4 hours in ERRiK, and the tool parts can be rinsed and dried. I apply a coating of light lubricant at this time to ensure that no flash rusting occurs. So far, I've taken a relatively soft approach to this restoration. Now that the metal parts are devoid of any surface contaminants, we can see that there is still some slight damage to the jaw teeth and that the casting marks remain. I'll tackle both these problems using a number of mechanical techniques, which includes filing, sanding, grinding, and using the wire wheel. There is always the temptation to apply a mirror finish to the metal parts of a tool. And although this does look nice, it kinda makes the tool a display piece only. Sometimes, just looking at a mirror finish sternly will scratch the surface. Check out my video on the perfect crowbar, and you can appreciate the time that progressively finer sanding takes. This is time that you'll never get back. This tool needs to continue to perform its design duties. So besides correcting damage and removing casting marks, the tool will be finished in a more user and work-friendly textured satin finish. The jawline will however be polished, as sometimes I just cannot help myself. The recessed parts of this tool had a painted finish. I will restore these painted surfaces. Before using the only red in the world that exists, i.e. monza-red, mask off all the areas that you don't want to have painted. I've chosen not to use an edge primer on this occasion, as the painted finish will be largely protected by the raised tool metal around it. Use light coats of paint only. Do this many times. The lighter the coats of paint and the more times you do it will produce deeper colours, better coverage and smoother finishes. For the areas that we're painting here, there is no requirement for any wet sanding. Besides, the raised lettering would have made this job just about impossible. And just like Christmas morning, and provided I haven't messed up, unwrapping these puppies now will reveal some satisfying results. Clean up any overspray now, as the paint, although it's perfectly fine to handle and dry to touch, has not cured to its final state. This will take another couple more days yet. I mentioned the solid rivet earlier. Unfortunately, my big box store did not have any replacements in stock. So in this case, I've opted to use a Chicago screw, and this works perfectly fine. Add some thread locker to the push pin and the Chicago screw and everything will stay in its place. Assembly is significantly easier than the disassembly process. And here is the final product. This restoration was straightforward with no complications along the way. There is no reason why you couldn't do this yourself. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Comments are always welcome.